What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video here on the Remote Front Office channel. Today we are going over the Milwaukee Bucks offseason. But before we do that, make sure to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. We are slowly climbing our way up to 20 subscribers. I appreciate all of you that have subbed and are watching the videos. Also, we are on TikTok as the Remote Front Office. That seems to get a little bit more traction nowadays. And thankfully the videos are about that long anyway. So how you guys doing on TikTok over there? But let's go ahead and get into the free agency. So the Milwaukee Bucks had a rather surprising end to their season last year. And let's kind of talk about how their offseason went. So first we're going to go through the players they lost. Javon Carter signed to the Chicago Bulls. I really like that signing to the Bulls. I understand it from Milwaukee's perspective because you are going to start getting towards that hard cap, second apron, whatever you want to call it. And sometimes you got to just cut costs, and that's the way they're doing it. Goran Dragic has not signed with a team yet. I'm assuming his career as an NBA player is probably done, or he's going to be one of those guys that maybe gets picked up November, December range, right? That'd be my guess just because of his defensive liabilities. Joe Ingles, they lost to the Magic. I understand not wanting to pay Joe Ingles that. He was coming back from an injury last year, so I was really surprised at the number he got last year. And then to see him get a similar number this year was kind of surprising considering the down year he had last year. Myers Leonard didn't really play much for them, but he is still unrestricted. I'm assuming he doesn't get picked back up. Wesley Matthews is actually surprisingly a big loss for them, just with how they run their general team. You need kind of that 3-and-D guy as your shooting guard, especially next to Drew, Chris Middleton. Or if Chris Middleton's not playing, he can slide down to the 3 and run with that Giannis lineup. He is actually in Atlanta, so that was kind of a bigger loss for them. But as far as their additions go, they brought in Malik Beasley for a minimum, which I thought was a steal. I definitely thought Malik Beasley was a mid-level exception guy. I understand he went kind of cold towards the end of the year last year with the Lakers, whereas he was red hot in Utah, right? But I still think his shooting's valuable. He was at points, he was one of the more efficient volume shooters in the league. So to see him kind of go for a minimum was rather surprising. They picked up Andre Jackson Jr. as a rookie. It's an older guy, experienced, went to a good program. So that one's not surprising. It's a good pick by Milwaukee. I was yelling at the Bulls because we didn't pick him in the second round, but he ended up going to Milwaukee. Robin Lopez comes in as a vet minimum. Again, a good locker room guy, good character guy. Had him here with the Bulls. Really liked him. Just kind of holding everybody accountable. And he also gets to play with his brother Brooke. And it's always fun to have guys that, maybe won't play as much, but just be that good locker room guy. And I'm sure we'll get plenty of clippable things between the two of them. So that'll be interesting. Re-signed. Thanasis got re-signed. Not surprised there. It typically seems like there's at least one other Antetokounmpo on the roster besides Giannis. It seems like Thanasis is the one that stayed. Jay Crowder re-signed. He had a disappointing stretch last year, but I can understand bringing him back because in theory he's exactly what Milwaukee needs, right? He's that 3-4 tweener. If you go big or if you go a small lineup with Giannis at the 5, stretch the floor, plays defense, guards multiple positions. Like he's essentially exactly what you want next to Giannis. He just had a bad year. Brook Lopez, I'm a little surprised at the number he got. I understood it, but he is getting a little bit older. So with these next couple of years, it'll be interesting to see if he's able to keep up his production that he's had. But I mean, if you are Milwaukee, you had to bring him back. Chris Middleton, I understand last year was more of coming off of an injury, so I'm kind of letting that one go. And see more so what Chris Middleton's like now based off of this year, right? Because it seems like for most guys, normally the year you come back is normally a year you're still getting your feet under you. And then it's normally that next year after that, that's when you start to bounce back to what you were before the injury. So I'm curious, given Chris Middleton's starting to get up there in age, got an extension. I think it was good for him to secure the long-term money. But I'm just genuinely curious as far as what level of Chris Middleton we're getting back. Because let's go ahead and discuss it now. So, this team was a 1 seed last year in the regular season. Lost to Miami. Granted, Giannis didn't play a majority of the games, right? Or majority of the minutes, I guess I should say. But this team is getting older, right? There's no real youthful injection to kind of carry this team past these next couple of years, right? Because Drew's now in his 30s, Middleton's in his 30s, Brooks in his mid-30s, Jay Crowder's up there in age. Like you have all these guys that are veterans that fit Giannis well. Don't get me wrong, they fit Giannis really well. But I'm concerned as those guys start to get older and start to take a step back. What are you surrounding Giannis with in the future, right? As Giannis starts to slowly get out of his prime, right? Because he's like 28 right now. When he's 30, who's on this team still, right? I don't see the path to this continuing on past the next like 2 years, right? Maybe 3. I don't see a pivot out of this direction either, because you're not going to be able to trade one of these guys for a bunch of picks, assets, young all-stars, anything like that, right? Drew Holiday's not going to have that kind of trade value. Brook Lopez isn't going to have that kind of trade value. Chris Middleton, maybe if he has a good year. But I don't see a way to pivot out of this current roster into something that you can continue through Giannis's prime and keep him in Milwaukee for his entire career. I just don't see it. But that's my thought. Let me know your guys' thoughts down below, and we will get into it from there. But I appreciate everybody coming through. I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.